Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another stream. I hope you guys are all doing well as always. Hope you guys are still hanging in there for Bitcoin and, of course, just crypto in general because, Bitcoin hasn't been moving, right? It's still consolidating, still holding strong though at $30,000. Right now, it's currently at 30,600. So, Bitcoin, in my opinion, is still holding up very, very well. Okay, so right now, guys, Bitcoin's coming out $30,000. Still not much movements for Bitcoin for the past few days. Okay, and it seems like it will continue on for that. Right, we could potentially see Bitcoin continue to consolidate at this level of $30,000. We will see, but that's just what it seems like right now for Bitcoin. But in the stream, guys, I want to talk about these price targets that's going to happen for Bitcoin because I think it's going to happen very, very soon. We know it's July. Okay, it's literally early of this month in July. So we know what that means. Okay, usually July Bitcoin does perform pretty well for this month. In previous years, just last year, 2022, 2021, 2020, Bitcoin was performing pretty well this month in July, right? Halfway through the year, it does perform pretty well. So I'm expecting Bitcoin to reach a new all-time high, break above this resistance line of $31,000 and, bounce back up to $32,000 and, of course, reaching $35,000 and, of course, potentially $38,000. I really do believe that's going to happen for Bitcoin. I think that's going to be the next price target for Bitcoin to reach, around $38,000. I think that's very, very possible for this month alone in July. It may sound crazy, but I think it's very, very possible. Time will tell, we will see. But right now, Bitcoin's currently at 30K. Not much movement in the market today. You guys can clearly see the global crypto market cap. It's just like yesterday, okay, where it was 1.2 trillion. Absolutely amazing to see. And overall, the market it's up 0.29%. So you guys can clearly see for the past 24 hours, majority of altcoins are not really moving. XRP is actually pumping though 2%, Litecoin 5%, Solana 2%, Polkadot 4%. Okay, Bitcoin Cash 4% as well. So a fair few altcoins are in fact pumping, but majority of them are not really moving. In fact, some of them actually slightly dropping as well, but nothing too crazy today in the market, guys. You guys can clearly see that. So it's just another one of those days, right? So let's get straight into the charts. Right now, Bitcoin is forming this bull flag. Okay, so potentially, right, we will potentially break, $31,000. Okay, because Bitcoin has obviously been touching $31,000 and surpassing 31K, and then it'll just drop back down to $30,000, right? Back down to 30K for some odd reason. But soon enough, I really do believe we're going to officially break that resistance line of $31,000. It's going to continue to 32, 33, 35, and of course $38,000, right? So all, Bitcoin could potentially not straight up, break this resistance line. We could actually see a correction for Bitcoin. But if we do in fact see a correction for Bitcoin, it's not going to be anything too crazy. I think if we do in fact see a correction for Bitcoin, it will potentially drop back down to maybe 29, 28, $27,000 most likely. Okay, and then it'll eventually just bounce back up, just like what this chart is showing. I think that's very, very possible for Bitcoin, right? So yes, $38,000. It seems like a lot of people out there, okay, are in fact, predicting that we will potentially see Bitcoin, once Bitcoin does in fact break this resistance line of $31,000, we will potentially see Bitcoin, right, break, 32, 33, 35, and 38, okay, $1,000. So this is very, very, very a realistic, price target for Bitcoin to hit in the next upcoming weeks, I want to say, okay, even a month, right? So yes, I do in fact see a 38K Bitcoin, maybe towards the end of this month in July. Time will tell, we will see. But either way, Bitcoin will pump, right? It's going to pump. And I think this month is going to be a great month for Bitcoin, right? So yes, $38,000 is in fact the price target that we should really, keep our eye on. Around $35,000 to $38,000. That's what I want to say, right? But really keep your eye on $38,000 because I think that's a very, very realistic price target for Bitcoin to hit in the next upcoming few weeks. Pretty much to hit it very soon. Now, this chart, I showed you guys this before, but I want to show you guys it again. This chart right here is indicating that, every single time Bitcoin does in fact hit bottom. And how do we know it hit bottom? Well, it shows you right down here. Okay, it hit bottom. Okay, we had this massive falling wedge, just like in previous years. It hit bottom, and now it's obviously breaking out of that, and it's forming a new pattern up to the upside. I've been telling you that many times, right? So clearly, you guys can clearly see that it's all ups from here. It should be all ups from here. Even though, yes, short term, we're going to see small corrections. Bitcoin's going to consolidate, but it should be all ups from here, guys, majority of the time, right? We will, in fact, see a recovery from all the crashes that we have, in fact, been seeing last year in 2022. This year in 2023, we should be seeing some recoveries, and we have, obviously, in January, March, we saw some massive gains for Bitcoin and crypto, which is absolutely amazing to see. And I think that will obviously continue on to the upside as well. But you guys can clearly see that, it should be all ups from here. We already hit bottom, okay? So it's all ups, just like history repeating itself pretty much, right? It's like clockwork, okay? Yes, it hits bottom, and then it's going to hit a top, and then it's going to repeat itself, right? Hit bottom, hit top, hit bottom, hit top, right? It's the same cycle, guys, right? A bear market and a bull market. Two different cycles every single time. Pretty much happens pretty much every 4 years, right? We all know that. So it's indicating that we're all going up right now. Okay, Bitcoin should be pumping up, and it has been, and it will continue. Now, what happened back 2016 will potentially happen for 2023. It seems pretty similar. Okay, Bitcoin's resistance line back in 2016, it was affected at $470, right? It actually touched 470 3 times. You guys can clearly see that, right? And it couldn't break above 470 for quite some time, for like at least a couple of weeks. You guys can clearly see that. And then eventually it did in fact break out of that. And I think right now, what we're seeing right now for Bitcoin in 2023, we know its resistance line is in fact $31,000. And I think we will potentially see Bitcoin break this resistance line, reach 32, 33, 35, 38, and of course $40,000. And I think that will continue on to the upside. I think we'll easily see a 50K Bitcoin, towards the end of this year in 2023. But this chart is showing that Bitcoin has touched $31,000 2 times, but it has actually been more than that, right? It has been way more than 2 times since we have seen Bitcoin, touch $31,000. Okay, we will touch one right there. So that's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. Okay, so 4 times pretty much, right? 4 times we have seen Bitcoin touch $31,000, and then for some odd reason, it just breaks down to 30K, right? And this is normal, you know what I mean? This is pretty much a resistance line, and I really do believe we're going to break out of that and reach $32,000 very, very soon. When that day comes, once we actually see Bitcoin at $32,000, I think that's when, the rally will continue, and it's going to pump to like $35,000, 38, and then so on, right? So it's looking pretty good so far, right? So what happened in 2016 will potentially happen in 2023. So Bitcoin is still holding up very well, in my opinion, right? It's still strong at $30,000, okay? And these are, in fact, the next targets, okay? So this chart is, in fact, indicating $36,000. That's target number 1, $36,000 in the next couple of weeks, potentially this month in, July, right? You guys can clearly see that. So July, we could potentially see Bitcoin over, $30,000 once again. And of course, target number 2, $45,000. And I think that's going to happen, towards the end of the year, right? So maybe in September or October, we will potentially see a 45K Bitcoin. That is very, very possible. And I really do believe the time around November or December, Christmas time, I think we'll easily see a 50K Bitcoin or even over 50K Bitcoin. But I just know that we'll potentially see a 50K Bitcoin. That is just my personal price target for Bitcoin, where I see Bitcoin reaching, this year alone, right, towards the end of this year in 2023. Okay, so some exciting times. Very, very exciting times. Okay, but yeah, these are in fact the next targets. Let me know, guys, what do you guys think about this? I would love to know, but that's just my personal targets for Bitcoin to reach this year in 2023. So it's looking pretty good. Now I want to show you guys this. I haven't showed you guys this before yet, but I want to show you guys it because it's pretty interesting. Okay, so Bitcoin on this date. So today is obviously July 3rd, 2023. Okay, but this chart is showing 2nd of July. But anyways, still the same thing. Okay, so pretty much 10 years ago, right, Bitcoin was at $90. 9 years ago, it was at $651. 8 years ago, right, it was at $255. 7 years ago, it was at $702. Okay, 6 years ago, it was at $2,500. And then 5 years ago, it was at 6,600, sorry. And then 4 years ago, it was at 10,800, right? And then 3 years ago, it was at $9,000. And then 2 years ago, it was at 33,800. And then 1 year ago, it was at 19,200. And now today, it's currently at 30,500, right? So you guys can clearly see Bitcoin has changed a lot, right? Especially 10 years ago, right? Exactly 10 years ago, Bitcoin was literally at $90. And I told you guys many times, that was the year where we actually saw Bitcoin reach $100 for the very, very first time, reaching a new all-time high, right? That was literally history right there, okay? And I remember this person uploaded a video on YouTube back in 2013, and he was actually recording his reaction of Bitcoin reaching $100. If you guys haven't seen that video, you should definitely check it out. I forgot what it was called, but I remember watching that. And it was crazy, right? That video is actually history, you know what I mean? But yeah, that was crazy. And now 10 years later, now Bitcoin's worth, tens and thousands of dollars. And remember, Bitcoin was worth 69K at one point. So just think about that. So imagine where Bitcoin will be, 10 years from now. Like, let me know in the comments down below, guys. What do you think? Where do you think Bitcoin will be 10 years from now? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to know. Personally, I think it's going to be well over $1 million. Call me crazy. Okay, call me crazy, but I think that's very, very possible for Bitcoin. Because think about it, right? 10 years ago, let's just say we're in 2013, we saw Bitcoin at $90, right? We wouldn't think, right? Let's just imagine it's 2013 right now. We're looking at the charts for Bitcoin and it's at $90, below $100. We wouldn't think, right? We wouldn't think that 10 years later, Bitcoin will be worth tens and thousands of dollars, right? We wouldn't think that, you know what I mean? So no one knew back, 10 years ago and back in 2013, that 10 years later, we will see Bitcoin at tens and thousands of dollars. So, 10 years from now, right? No one really knows where Bitcoin's going to be. So I think, $1 million, and a fair few people have, in fact, been predicting this, right? For example, we know Cathie Wood. Okay, Cathie Wood, she has, in fact, predicted that by the year 2030, which is less than 7 years from now, mind you, less than 7 years from now, she's saying that we will potentially see a $1 million Bitcoin, okay, by the year 2030, which is less than 7 years. Think about that. Just think about that, right? That is not long at all. And I think, yes, it could potentially be very, very possible. If it doesn't reach $1 million, then it could potentially be at around 800K, maybe even 900K, right? We'll see, but it's going to be at a high price. It's going to be worth hundreds and thousands of dollars, guys. Okay, so this chart is amazing. It just really does show you guys and indicates how much Bitcoin has in fact grown over the years, okay, on this very date, okay, the 2nd of July. So absolutely amazing to see right there, guys. Okay, and I really do believe we're going to finally hit 100K very, very soon. I think it's going to happen next year, okay, in 2024. I've been mentioning that many times, towards the end of the year in 2024, I think that's when we will see a 100K Bitcoin, 100%. That's just my personal opinion, right? We know the halving is about to happen. Every single time we have the halving, it pumps, okay? It doesn't pump straight away. Once the halving actually happens, Bitcoin doesn't actually pump, straight away, right? You got to give it a couple weeks, couple months. So that's why I'm always saying, towards the end of the year, and that's when it'll pump. Just like in 2020, right? In 2020, towards the end of the year in 2020, that's when we actually saw Bitcoin starting to pump. And then it just continued on in early of 2021. That's exactly what's going to happen in the year 2024 and 2025, right? So exciting times, guys. Exciting times for Bitcoin. Now, the Bitcoin monthly returns. I already gave you guys an update on this. If you guys haven't seen my most previous videos, you guys should definitely check them out. But just to give you guys a quick update on this, 0.34% so far for this month in July. Okay, so you guys can clearly see we're still holding up very, very well. Okay, and you guys can clearly see, like I mentioned earlier in the stream, that just last year, 2022, 2021 even, and 2020, we were in fact seeing some great returns for this month. And you guys can even see back in 2018, 2017, 2015, even 2013, right? 10 years ago, we were seeing some pretty decent returns. And I'm actually surprised that in 2022, we had a 16% return, because we know usually in 2022, right, when we're in fact, in a bear market, we still are, right? When everything was dropping, you know what I mean? It was a bad year. Like, it was a terrible year. If you survive 2022, you can literally survive anything in crypto, because I think 2022 has to be like one of the worst years ever. So much has happened that year, and so much FUD and just negative news causing Bitcoin and crypto just to crash, right? It was a terrible year. So if you survive that year, you can literally survive anything, right, in the crypto space. That's just my opinion, right? But yeah, usually July, you guys can clearly see, is usually a great month for Bitcoin. So I'm expecting Bitcoin to reach at least a new all-time high, okay, of maybe $35,000, maybe even $38,000 this month in July. I think that's very, very possible. But time will tell. We will see. But so far, Bitcoin is holding up very well. Okay, it really, really is. You guys can clearly see that. So we will continue, and we will see what's going to happen with Bitcoin this month in July. Now, the Fin Greed Index is currently at 62 in greed mode. You guys can clearly see that. Yesterday it was in fact at 63. Today's at 62, so it's gone down slightly, but nothing's changed, right? We're still in greed mode, which is absolutely amazing to see. Last week we were in fact in greed mode at 55. Okay, just in greed, right? Because we know once it goes back down one more time, like around 54, then it will be in neutral. But you also see last month it was in fact in neutral. So everything's still holding up very well. You guys can clearly see that. Soon enough, guys, okay, the Fin Greed Index is officially going to be around here, like in the greens. You know what I mean? So some exciting times will happen for Bitcoin and crypto. Okay, so be excited for that. Now, I want to show you guys this real quick. So this right here, guys, is the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT collection. And then you guys can clearly see it's down 90%. 90% from its 600k high, its all-time high pretty much, right? So you guys can clearly see how much this NFT collection has dropped, over the years. Remember 2021, 2022 even, there's just so much hype with this NFT collection and it's dropped massively. And if you guys don't know what Bored Ape Yacht Club is, you're actually crazy. You know what I mean? Like you probably lived under a rock, but we all know, we have seen it. Okay, a lot of influencers and celebrities have bought into this NFT. Okay, a lot of people. We would know that because they would change their profile pictures into that NFT to show that they actually own it and whatnot. Like all that. What we used to do back then, because I feel like a lot of people don't really do that nowadays. A fair few people obviously do, right? I don't buy NFTs no more. I used to, but I stopped. Okay, I did in fact buy one NFT on OpenSea, but once I bought that NFT, I realized like the gas fees with Ethereum is absolutely crazy. We know the gas fees for Ethereum is insane, right? It's actually ridiculous. So the gas fees was just too high, and I stopped buying NFTs with Ethereum. And then I came across Magic Eden, which is another website you can also buy NFTs using Solana. So I was using Solana to buy NFTs, and I bought a fair few, right? And I still hold them to this day. There's no point selling it because they have dropped a lot, and who knows, maybe the NFT market will eventually, rise back up again. You never know. Okay, so personally, guys, if you guys have in fact invested into NFTs, I would personally just hold them. You know what I mean? Don't sell them or anything like that. Personally, I would just hold them, even though yes, it's dropped 90%, which is crazy, but I think it's a great time to maybe buy more. I don't know, but usually you want to buy low. Okay, and then you want to like sell high, right? So I think right now, okay, we should be buying more, okay, because I really do think the NFT market will rise again, even though yes, it's been dropping. A lot of like I said, a lot of NFT collections have in fact been dropping. So I think, I think it's time to really look into NFTs. You know what I mean? But personally, I'm not really gonna buy NFTs. I haven't bought any since, right? But it's been like almost 1 year since I bought an NFT. I ain't gonna lie to you guys, right? It's been almost a year. Okay, I really just stopped. I felt like all of us can agree that we all stopped buying NFTs as well. If you guys were in fact buying NFTs, I'm pretty sure it's been a while since we have bought them, right? But yeah, that's that. The NFT market's it's dropping. And it's understandable, you know what I mean? The crypto market has also dropped. Bitcoin has dropped like 77% from its previous all-time highs. Ethereum has dropped. A lot of these altcoins have dropped a lot as well, right? So it's understandable. It really is. Okay, so someone just says, I feel that BTC is too expensive and these amounts. No one's buying at this amount. Okay, like I told you guys, right? You guys may think buying a Bitcoin right now or investing into Bitcoin right now it's a large amount. It's understandable. A lot of people out there don't want to, buy into Bitcoin, like if they're only investing $1,000, I don't think someone out there will invest $100 into Bitcoin. They'll rather invest that $1,000 into small cap altcoins, right? Something like, I don't know, Cardano, XRP, or something even smaller, like a small cap, right? Maybe in like an early meme coin, right? They want to invest that $1,000 and think cross that $1,000 will turn into like, I don't know, tens of thousands of dollars in the future. You know what I mean? So it's understandable why people aren't in fact investing into altcoins other than Bitcoin. But I'm saying as of right now, you should, have some Bitcoin in your portfolio. You should hold some Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin moves, okay? It moves everything. It controls the market majority of the time. So meaning, if Bitcoin's pumping, then altcoins will pump as well. And you guys can clearly see the dominance for Bitcoin is at 49%, 49.4%. And remember, a couple of days ago, this was actually over 50%. And it will eventually go back up to 50%, right? But yeah, the dominance for Bitcoin is at 49.4%. Ethereum's at 19.3%. So the dominance is way higher than Ethereum. And Ethereum is obviously the largest altcoin. So if you really think about it, you're going to need some Bitcoin in your portfolio. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to need it, right? So it's understandable why people don't want to invest into Bitcoin, because they're looking at the price and it's at $30,000. It's just too high compared to these other altcoins. Whereas, Ethereum's only at 1,900. Chainlink is at $6. Cardano's at 29 cents for one coin. Polygon's at 68 cents. Solana's at $19. So it's understandable why people are in fact, looking at other altcoins, because they don't want to invest into Bitcoin because the price is too high. But I've been telling us many times, that you shouldn't look at it like that, right? You should look at it as in like, where will Bitcoin be in the next few years? Oh, okay, Bitcoin's going to be worth, $100,000. It's going to be worth 200K, 500K, 1 million, and of course, millions of dollars, right? So imagine, okay, you buy one full Bitcoin today, okay, at $30,000, let's just say, right? And you hold that one Bitcoin in the next 10 years. In the next 10 years, you will potentially become a millionaire. Okay, obviously it really depends where Bitcoin's going to be heading, but imagine you just accumulate, you just invest $30,000. That $30,000 will turn into literally over $1 million in the next like decade, right? So just think about that. That's obviously a great investment, in my opinion. Okay, this is obviously not financial advice. I'm not saying it will 100% happen. Like I said many times, who realistically really knows where Bitcoin will be heading, in the future? But Bitcoin's price is gonna for sure pump, okay, at a dramatic price, at an unrealistic price that no one thought of, and it's just gonna pump. Just like 10 years ago, when Bitcoin was at $90, right? If we go back to this chart right here, when Bitcoin was at $90, no one knew 10 years later it will be worth, tens of thousands of dollars. So imagine where Bitcoin will be, 10 years from now, right? So this is what I always tell you guys. This is what I always tell you guys. Okay, so don't look at it in that perspective. Don't think Bitcoin is too expensive. It is, right? For one coin, $30,000. I get it, right? Not a lot of people out there have, that type of money. But DCA, guys, when I first started investing into crypto, I've always wanted to invest into Bitcoin, right? And own a full coin. And I literally was like working as hard as I could. I tried my best to like do overtime at my job, and every time I'll get a paycheck from work, I would invest like majority of it into Bitcoin. I would invest like at least 95% of my money, literally 95% of my paycheck into Bitcoin, because at the time I wasn't using my money for anything else. You know what I mean? I really wasn't, right? So I just invested 95%, okay, 90% or 95% of my money into Bitcoin. I was slowly dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. And I remember like 6 months later, I finally accumulated one full Bitcoin, right? It took me a couple of months, right? So you guys should have that same goal as well. And just think about it, right? We know the Bitcoin halving is about to happen, and it's about to pump, right? Bitcoin's about to pump even more. So don't miss this opportunity on buying Bitcoin at $30,000, right? Don't miss this opportunity, because once Bitcoin pumps and it continues pump, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, it goes back up to its previous all-time high, 69K, and it reaches a new all-time high. We will probably never see Bitcoin at $30,000 ever again in Bitcoin history, right? Because in the next bull market, Bitcoin's easily going to be over 6 figures, 100K, right? And of course, maybe to even 200K, 250K, right? Somewhere around there, that high. It is possible to see Bitcoin at 200K. That is very possible, okay? So we will potentially never see Bitcoin at $30,000 ever again. That's what I want you guys to understand. So it's never too late to invest into Bitcoin, okay? It really isn't, right? Yes, it's expensive, I get that, but DCA slowly, you know what I mean? And then eventually you will own, 0.1 worth of Bitcoin, 0.3, 0.5, half of a Bitcoin, and then you just keep going on from there, right? And once you actually accumulate one full Bitcoin, continue, right? Add more, stack more, accumulate more. The more Bitcoins you accumulate, the more wealthier you'll be in the future. I've been telling you guys that many times. That's just my personal opinion, okay? Because Bitcoin's gonna, be worth millions of dollars per Bitcoin, 100%. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I just really want to give you guys a little update on what's happening with Bitcoin as always. And of course, talk about, the NFT charts and whatnot, because it has obviously been dropping, which is absolutely insane. But on that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you guys haven't seen my most previous videos that I've uploaded today, okay, you should definitely check them out. I would appreciate that. But on that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you guys all in my next video, and have a blessed day, guys.